What's up, guys? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more of our videos. Also, make sure you follow us all over social media so you don't miss any of our content or show announcements. So the Pistons going to come from behind winning on the road in Miami. Cade got off to a rough shooting start. I think he was 2 for his first 9, if I remember correctly. But he got going eventually, and he just has a lot of size advantage that he could work against in this matchup. He had a couple of these like left shoulder hooks that he hit against Haywood Highsmith and Jaime Jaquez, where he just kind of like slowly and methodically backed them down into a range that he felt comfortable, hit him one more time to dislodge that base, and then just use that momentum to flow into like these easy, breezy left shoulder hooks. And it was just a reminder of how good this guy can be in the big picture as he gets better and better at replicating that easy stuff. Again, that's the thing with younger players. They struggle to replicate what's working, and they struggle to stop doing what's not working. When you become a veteran, a lot of times, like any skill improvement gets undercut by your diminishing athleticism. But what changes is your understanding of the game and the way that you can parse out the things that work really well for you and hyper focus on them and limit the things you struggle with to improve your efficiency. And again, like there's going to be a lot of that kind of stuff with Cade when he's in the heart of his prime, where he's taken some, not necessarily the most skillful shots in the world, like crazy step backs or nifty combinations of dribble and footwork combinations. But he's going to have a lot of these easy breezy shots because he's 6'8", he's big and strong, and he can get to wherever he wants on the floor. He did a lot of great work putting defenders in jail in this game. He had a fun, again, whenever we talk about putting defenders in jail, all that is when you get an angle on a player, whether it's in transition, whether it's in an ISO, whether it's in a post-up situation, whether it's in a pick and roll, whatever it is, when you get the defender onto your hip or your backside, when you slow down and you basically reverse post up, meaning you're posting up, but instead of trying to back the dude down, you're leading him forward while trapping him in a position on your body that you feel comfortable with, and you have an open lane in front of you, which forces the defense to make a decision. He had a fun one in the fourth quarter where he pump faked like 4 or 5 times while dudes are just flying around about him, and he hit like a little casual 6-foot fadeaway over the top. He's getting really good at using his size in transition as an opportunity to get that easy angle. Like he'll look up at the rim with the ball in his right hand, and he'll just like do that push cross and drop his right shoulder, and he'll take an aggressive dribble, and then the defender's on his side. And he'll get that advantage at like 25 feet. And then just like he does in a ball screen, he'll just work his way downhill. If no one stops him, he'll go all the way to the front of the rim. If not, he'll just kind of wait for the defense to react. And again, when he gets into those situations, that's where the similarities to Luka are like jarring for me. Because there's a dynamic that takes place when he gets the defender on his hip or on his back. He slows way the hell down. He can get painfully slow sometimes on his drive in that sort of position when he's got the defender pinned. And I say painfully for the defense. Dribble penetration makes help defenders make decisions. Him slowing down is what allows those openings to fully form. While he's going slow, defenders are flying, and they're making decisions, and they're fully committing to whatever defensive read they make. That allows him to allow the play to develop so that he can find the read and make it. And from there, he just has his reads down pat. Every one of his teammates know where to be. Tim Hardaway and Malik Beasley know that if Cade throws him the ball in a kick ahead in transition or a kick out in a ball screen, even if the closeout is there, he wants them to shoot it. He's rifling it to them because he knows they're good contested three-point shooters. He wants them to take it. He got a dunk for Jalen Duren in the second half when he got blitzed around the right elbow and Miami forgot to tag the roller, just elevated and rifled a pass to Jalen Duren. Easy dunk. It actually might have been Isaiah Stewart. I can't even remember who was in the game at that point. He's developing this really fun chemistry with Ausar Thompson, too. He generated 3 dunks for him off of cuts in various situations. I talked about this concept with Jonathan Kuminga a couple days ago, but the idea of runways. We always think about help side defense as an opportunity to get a wide open catch and shoot 3, but the same exact thing happens for an athlete in a different way in the form of a runway appearing. So you can imagine if you're in the corner and the ball gets skipped to you and your helper, the guy who's guarding you, steps into the paint, you think of it as this wide open catch and shoot 3. But if you read it before the pass and the defender steps up, all of a sudden there's like 25 feet of space or 22 feet of space between you and the corner and the front of the rim with nobody standing there. And that's an opportunity for an athlete to get a running start. And Ausar is just finding those runways in two different spots along the baseline when he's in the corner, but he also got one off of Cade's drive swooping in from behind along the wing. This is where Cade's slowing down is an advantage. He slows down, the play develops, everyone kind of coalesces around him. Ausar finds an opening and just zooms in from behind. He drops him off. It doesn't matter if there's congestion in the paint. Ausar is such a freak athlete. Once he gets ahead of steam like that, no one's jumping with him. No one's stopping him there. Again, he got 3 dunks tonight on cuts off of Cade drives. And then, of course, Cade tops it all off by stealing victory from defeat with a couple of threes down the stretch. There was a missed 3 from Malik Beasley on the right wing. Jalen Duren just buries Kel'el Ware right under the rim. And by the way, Kel'el was rough down the stretch of this game. He didn't really understand what he was doing around the rim. He gave up that key offensive rebound. He had another weird play where he tried like a corn test, the Luke Cornett, like jump up and just clap from underneath the basket. He tried one of those on a post move where he had no chance to block the shot. And thanks to him leaving his feet, he was not in position to get the defensive rebound, and someone just swooped in right behind him and got the offensive rebound put back. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? But the Heat look really bad. We're going to talk about that in a minute. That's an entirely separate issue. But anyway, Duren gets the offensive rebound, pitches it out to Cade. He hits a 3 to put the Pistons up 2. Then Tyler Herro ties the game, drawing a foul on Jalen Duren. And that really is the next step for Jalen Duren in his development. He's got to learn how to defend on the perimeter. You got switched on to a guard. Your job at that point, depending on the game plan, whatever the coach tells you, is, if he's an elite jump shooter, let's say it's Steph Curry, your job is to play up on the jump shot and funnel him in a direction where you have planned help. If it's a guy that you're less worried about him making a pull-up jump shot, then it's about containment. And from there, you don't need to block the jump shot. No one's asking you to block the jump shot. They're asking you to contest the jump shot. They want you to at least make the guy make a contested shot. If Tyler Herro hits a contested 17-footer off the bounce there, you kind of have to live with that. Leaving your feet trying to block the shot allowed Tyler Herro to get 2 free throws, which he's going to make. And again, that's just the stuff that he's got to work on in his development. You put your hand up, you live with the results in those situations instead of jumping out of your shoes. Guards are always going to go for fakes against a big man in space. Because once big dudes start moving one way or the other or leave their feet, they're so big that it's hard for them to change direction and regain control of their body. Once they get you to lunge one way or to leave their feet, that's where the quickness comes in for the guard, and they're going right around you. That's why it's about positional defense, staying disciplined, doing what the game plan needs from you in that sort of situation. He'll get better in time. He just needs reps. It would do Jalen a lot of good to this summer to start showing up to some workouts with some perimeter NBA players and just ask to guard and be like, oh, you guys are doing ones. Let me hop in and just get reps guarding you guys one-on-one, because that's the kind of thing that'll help him when it comes to defending out on the perimeter. But anyway, Herro ties it, and then Cade ends up banking in the pull-up 3 over Bam at the buzzer. Really high degree of difficulty shot, but he got it up over the contest. And again, when you shoot it right there at the top of the key, you can afford to miss long. You missed long, but went right in off the back of the rim, or off the backboard. Cade finished with 25, 12, and 11. It's his 9th triple-double of the season. His second 25-point triple-double of his career. The Pistons are fun, man. They have so many fun subplots. Like, I don't really know what to think of Ron Holland yet, because I don't know what he'll become offensively, but he had a really fun stretch of this game where he just ball pressured the hell out of Alec Burks in the second half, and you could see him really becoming a defensive weapon sooner than later. He was plus 11 in 12 minutes. Malik Beasley hasn't just been one of the best 3-point shooters in the league this year. He's shown some really impressive scoring chops, like hitting tough shots off of different bits of footwork and ball handling over great contests, doing excellent work off the bounce. He's shooting 38% on off-the-dribble jump shots this year. Weighted for threes, he's getting over a point per shot. He's having a wonderful scoring season. Tobias Harris is having a great season and really coming around as a secondary shot creator for them after the Jaden Ivey injury. Ausar Thompson's in a different role than his brother. Like, Amen Thompson is getting a lot of inverted spacing situations because of Şengün. I've talked about this concept with like Aaron Gordon and Nikola Jokic. An athlete on the back line has infinitely more value when the big man is playing out around the elbows, because that is pulling the rim protector out to guard the big man out around the elbows. That allows those runways to appear more frequently along the back line. Amen Thompson is going to have a lot of success feasting off of the Şengün inverted spacing, With the Detroit Pistons, they don't have that type of inverted spacing. So those opportunities are fewer and further between for Ausar, but you can still see some similar flashes of his vertical spacing ability, of the wrecking ball that he can be on defense, just like Amen Thompson can be. He ran some ball screen action of his own in the second half of this game with Jalen Duren. He got a good downhill rep against Kel'el Ware where he caved his chest in and got an easy little left-handed layup right at the front of the rim. Again, the Pistons are just fun. And now they're only one game back of Indiana in the standings for the 4 seed and potentially home court in the first round. That said, they do have a very tough remaining schedule. The remaining schedule combined opponent win percentage is over 55%. So I think they're probably headed for that 6 seed in a first round series against the Knicks, unless obviously some things go differently. That said, like we've talked about in the past, I think the Pistons might actually match up better with New York than they do with Indiana or Milwaukee. So that would be a really fun first round series. And I guess we'll see when the time comes.